LOL, Shadwell here, ready to talk about the next film in my collection, Evil Dead Rise from 2023. It's directed by Lee Cronin and stars Mirabai Pease and Richard Crouchley. I might be remembering this wrong, but I think Fede Alvarez had a Twitter poll asking which sequel people wanted to see him do more, Evil Dead or Don't Breathe. I think Don't Breathe won, but in the end, he didn't direct that sequel either. Unlike Fede Alvarez, though, the director of this film, Lee Cronin, had directed at least one feature previous to Evil Dead Rise, so I remember watching that to get an idea of what I was in for. The film was called The Hole in the Ground, and it's a decent film, although at the time I didn't know how it, were it his resume for getting the job of directing Evil Dead, affected him as the filmmaker behind the newest Evil Dead film. Silly me, because if The Hole in the Ground taught me anything, it's that Lee Cronin has no problem putting children in peril. And that will become important in Evil Dead Rise, as the majority of the characters are young kids of varying ages. This movie is great, just superb, although in the past 2 days I've watched 4 Evil Dead movies pretty much back to back, and you have to understand that 3 of the 4 are fairly hardcore horror films. It's funny because I used to think Army of Darkness had little place in the Evil Dead franchise, but I now know that its levity is needed because otherwise the darkness of the other films might just send you running for the razors. Evil Dead Rise does away with the cabin in the wood location for an urban rundown high-rise apartment. And if you're thinking that it's the location that was the secret to Evil Dead's success, think again, because this film fucking rocks. I think the thing that I admire about it so much is that no one is safe. You as an audience member have no clue what to expect because anyone can die at any point thanks to any object, of which are varied, multiple, and elaborate. In fact, at one point a cheese grater is used as a weapon and the result is put me off shredding my own cheese for the rest of my fucking life. Like I said, I love Evil Dead Rise, and even though it eschews the normal Evil Dead Cabin in the Woods blueprint, it does at least start it off at one for at least the first 10 minutes or so. It should also be pointed out that this film was so good it was released theatrically instead of exclusively through Max as originally planned. Way to go, Evil Dead Rise, which I'm giving an A+2 as well because, again, I can't think of any reason to lessen the grade. Tomorrow it's back to the 50 excellent 80s films with the film Scandal Sheet, which I'm sure has nothing to do with Shonda Rhimes. See y'all then.